Hi, I'm Seamless, and this is the fifth part of the Modular Electro track from scratch. And so far we've got some bits, and mostly we have this. Yay! So today, actually it's kind of cool. You can see the outline of the camera with the rig and whatever over here. I actually put a piece of tape on my monitor so I can see when I'm looking at it where it is, so I don't put stuff behind there and then work on it without realizing that no one can see what I'm doing, because I do that all the time. And now I'm being smart and not doing that. So yay. So in this track, like the chords and the progression of the chords are like the most generic thing ever, and I'm probably not going to keep that. There's some arrangement things I need to do to kind of make it better, and just whatever. But I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna do some sound design. I wanna make some wacky bass, like super neuro fills. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. So last time we made most of our sounds with this guy. This is this dude here. This is the Make Noise DPO, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's a good time. But now I want to use this thing for the start, anyway. And this thing is the Sputnik. Sputnik Modular is the name of the company. And it's called the Dual Oscillator. And it could do some cool stuff. Alright, do I still have... I must. Yeah, I have the MIDI. I have this MIDI out. That is controlling a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, you can see the lights popping up whenever I click on it. Well, you can actually see that pretty straightforwardly on the video. I guess I'll put this down here because I'm pretty sure this is the right note. We'll find out in a second. I gotta calibrate the oscillator anyway. And we can't hear it because I turned it off. And everything is off. Cool. All right. Actually, I want to just use one of these stacker cables, because I'm going to want to split it into oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And then let's take a square output of oscillator, one of these oscillators, out 2, yeah. And this can go, oops, no, wait, yeah. I can go in there. And then CV gate goes here. That cable's right in the way of that knob. Yeah, alright. Silent way. Silent way. Let's do calibrate. Go. Dear God, that was loud. Okay. We got bass. So there's an FM input, right? Yeah. Someone in the chat is like, dude, please do a review of Soundgoodizer for our next plugin review video. I totally should. Be great. Her review Fruity Balance. Man. Alright. So this is good. Let's put you in the final output. So these kinds of self-contained synths, they're not really perfectly self-contained. A perfectly self-contained synth would be something that had like basically everything, all of this combined. But in these sort of dual oscillator ones like this kind of DPO, they usually have some kind of internal routing that leads to a final output that puts both of them together. And this is one of them that does that. And this does a lot of cool stuff. particularly fond of this thing that switches between even and odd harmonics. It's a vaguely additive in its usage. Let's make you the full length so that you stop freaking cutting off. It's weird. Is my snap still something stupid? No, it's not. So there's also internal modulation that we can use, like this. Didn't actually want to move that guy, but I did. Whoops. Alright, I actually need to make another stack in here, because I want to involve other oscillators. Let's actually put this dude into here, because then we can use both of these oscillators to do the thing. When I first saw that these stack cables were like a thing, my first thought was like, oh cool, I can put multiple signals into something. But really what it's about is taking one signal and kind of splitting it. Although that's also what this thing is for, right next to it. This sort of row of inputs, it's called a mult. It essentially multiplies the signal. You put it into one of the 4 ins, and then the other 3 outs become that signal again. So like if I didn't have stack cables, I could use that to do the same idea. But I'm doing this so that I can use external modulation sources for things. Cool. What else I want to do? A bunch of stuff, I'm sure. Like, let's throw this into... Do I want to do the distortion first or filter first? Let's do filter first. In A, and then out. Oh, come on. All I want is a cable of reasonable length. All I have are like really short cables or really, really long cables. Let's do mix. And then into distortion. And then out of distortion into out. Hua, 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 hua. And people are enjoying the fact that I made it a hardstyle track in the chat. They are celebrating it. ready for this for the next 2 hours. So actually, I need to figure something out about the software here. All right, that's why I wanted to figure out this guy here. You're in a patcher, aren't you? So that means if I want to automate you, I have to come in here, do parameters last tweaked, and then this is our automation. So now I can do pitch mod, because slide notes ain't gonna work. Wow. Let's start doing. This is only the first. This is only the beginning. We're doing. Yeah, okay, so we're mostly staying in the right key here. More E. E. Let's just do E and D over here. Actually, let's do E and G too. And some more D. Cool. Hard style, as some people pointed out in the chat. Shift. So is this one whole octave up here? Wow. Trust me, I have a plan. Sweet. So now I want to actually automate some of these parameters, but I want it to be in there. The way that we're going to do this, the way is it going to happen? So like if I want to automate this guy, for example, I need to go into FM1. There's already an FM2 involved from the previous guy. The way that this works is that there's FM1, FM2. FM1 is linear and FM2 is bipolar. And unipolar, I suppose I should say, for FM1. But they're also shared between the two filters. FM2 actually just goes over to the next one. So that's why they're actually both being FM'd by the same amount currently. So I need to put out a separate signal. I guess I need to go out 5 and 6. So how am I gonna do that? 5 and 6. Actually, I can just straight up do that, can't I? Because it'll be in here. Because that's what this is doing. Sort of. I need essentially a new one of these. Is that? What is this doing? Oh, it's already going out to 5 and 6. Ha. But it's not actually doing anything. Why is that? Oh, it's probably because I automated it to be off. Yeah, there it is. So that's number 6. So let's make one that's number 5 here. So 1, 2, square. Come on, there you go. 5 and 6. I now have two separate automatable parameters, which will output a consistent signal that I will use to control what I want. So number 6 here. Create automation. I forgot about the tape thing. Well, fortunately, we're good. Whoops. So let's put number 6 into an actual thing that we can do to the stuff. I guess I'll use one of these stupid things. Is that gonna reach now? Well, this will reach now. That's number 6, right? I already forget. Hope it's number 6. All right. FM1. I'll just put FM1 all the way up. Yay. Okay. I guess I have to put this down, actually. Ah, I feel that bass. Alright, so kind of a bummer about doing this with Citrus is that it doesn't exactly hold properly. And actually I could fix that by coming in here and making it mono. Although, can I do that from here? I can do that from... How does it matter? I'm only playing one note, but like it triggers itself and it stacks, which is kind of obnoxious. But we should be okay for what we want to do. So that's a lot of fun. What other specialness can we add to this before I do the next phase? Because oh boy, is there ever going to be phases. All right, so actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this twice as long. I'm going to add more motion and automation. And the reason for this is because once I do this, the next step is I'm going to resample it into all of this. And that also means I have to undo this patch, and I'll never be able to do this again. Ever. Because that's how this stuff works. Let's just do a biggie. A biggie. We... Yeah, why not? Honestly. Okay. So this is gonna loop. And we're gonna record this. Now, let me mess around with a few things for a second. Okay. And one more time to test. Okay, all right, now we're gonna record. Just twice is fine. And now we have this. This glorious bass sandwich. Wah. Man, you know what I didn't do? I didn't set a timer for this episode. That's fine. I'll just kind of let it go until a logical conclusion. Boy, that's loud. Why is that peaking? Oh, because this was, I forgot. This is actually heading outside the mastering, so that we know what it sounds like without the mastering. But there's actually mastering involved. Let's take a second to look at this again, because this looks cool as hell. Look at all that. Look at all that. Wow. Ain't that some shit? That's just fun. That's the high pass at the very end there. So this is going to actually get output from here into 7 and 8, and it's just going to go into all this again. Ooh, actually, it's super good that I have this MIDI still. because now we can do fun shit with it. I actually have no reason to keep this anymore because, oh wait, I do need to keep this pitch though. Wow. It's a good thing I didn't do what I was about to do. Because this is still moving all like that. Okay. Okay. How can I use that to my advantage? Actually, I guess that's just fine, actually. Never mind then. All right, so fuck all this. I need to get more cables. Not only do I need to get more cables, but I need to get like an actual cable organization system, not unlike the one that Celldweller has in his place. Although he has like 60 times the gear I do, so it's somewhat necessary for him to have a robust method of organization. But like right now, I basically have a pile of cables next to the rack, and that's how I organize it. This is how I'm doing what I'm doing. So, all right, this is actually great. So comes out 7.8, but we also still have the pitch data coming in here, so you can actually see 7 and 8 doing it. So the reason why we're seeing like on some of these have 2 lights, some of these have 1 light. That's because it's actually tracking polarity. It's a positive and negative polarity up and down. So like these guys are all coming up straight, like the 5, 6 that are just like the DC offset. Those are all just staying straight, but these are actually like these are waveforms that are coming out here. So it's oscillating positive and negative. And I can just take, of course, left and right, but this is a mono sound, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Now this time we don't actually need the gate control because the sound will only happen when it comes out here, which it should totally be doing right now. In a mix in. Do I need to do this? Oh yeah, I muted it. I muted it in FL. There it is. Now, the reason why it was good that I still have the pitch control is because now I can do things like hook up a separate oscillator like Mr. Man down here, and it'll follow the movements. And I don't have to worry about redoing things. Wow, that's super great. All right. Triangle, FM2. I'm going to take the CV1 in on this second filter over here, and that's going to be number 6 from the earlier. Maybe CV2, let's just see that. CV1. So CV1, filter all the way down. And this is you. Someone said, "Why are recording everything?" That's actually probably a good idea. So actually, I have a sort of a plan about that because I am trying to get like a specific like set of like a sound that's gonna be like what I'm gonna use, but then it's also valuable just to have something that is just like all the stuff that's happening all at once. So we'll leave this on as just kind of a logger. I'm using distortion, but I'm actually mostly using it as kind of a compressor. I guess I can just use an actual compressor when I'm done with this. Yeah, this compressor is just not... This compressor, derp, this distortion ain't happening. If you're not sure, this filter over here is actually a notch filter. All right, so now I'm gonna record this, but while I'm doing it, I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna mess around with the I don't want to save it. I don't care. These two filters, because this one's being automated, so this one will be the one that I do manually. And then actually for giggles, the third time around, I'm just gonna do some wacky shit because it'll be cool to do some things that might be wrong. You can relax now. That was neat. I'll pause the logger here and just call this Modular Business. Only not because I just misspelled everything, but I don't care. Just so that I actually know what it is. Let's put that in there because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in there that'll be handy for later. And then the actual thing that I wanted. Although near the end there, it felt like some errors were happening. I don't know if it actually recorded that though, is the thing. We'll find out. Super loud. Yeah, it's like some kind of beady thing going on. I'm not totally sure why. I'm just kind of let it go. No idea. But back to this thing. Wah, 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 wah. What is doing that? It's like it changed, the FM was changing pitch coming out of it. Or that the fucking the Expert Sleepers hardware was cutting out. I might have tried too hard with the double Edison here. Let's see. Does this version still do it? Yeah, it's still doing it. That's just funky. Let's try doing that again, but this time with only one Edison. Let's see if it still does it. Oh, it's because the notes, but it still wouldn't. It still wouldn't. Because of the automation, maybe it's possible. Don't know. Anyway, we made some badass sounds for this session, so that's fine, I guess, for part number 1 of today's stream. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.